In the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, the supernatural elements serve as enigmatic threads that weave through the fabric of this richly crafted narrative. These elements represent occurrences and phenomena that transcend conventional understanding, imbuing the game with a mystique that intrigues and captivates players. Encountering the supernatural in this setting elevates the game's exploration of life, death, and the unknown, echoing the dark undercurrents of folklore and the eerie isolation of the American frontier. The significance of supernatural themes in Red Dead Redemption 2 lies in how they enrich the narrative and gameplay experience. These elements add layers of depth to the storyline, inviting players to ponder the coexistence of reality and the ethereal. By embedding ghostly encounters and cryptic symbols within a historically grounded world, the game blurs the line between fact and fiction, prompting players to question their perception of the game's reality and what lurks beneath its surface. Two notable examples underscore the supernatural aspects. The ghostly night folk, who roam the swampy regions, haunting and ambushing the player, create a palpable tension that amplifies the game's atmospheric dread. Their eerie presence and inexplicable behavior connect to Southern Gothic traditions, enriching the narrative with cultural lore. Another example is the spectral figure of the Lemoyne Lady, a ghost seen wandering the Bluewater Marsh at night. Her tragic backstory adds emotional depth, linking the ghostly phenomenon to the land's violent history and encouraging players to investigate further. Support for these mystical elements often comes from their role in fostering engagement and sparking imagination. Fan theories proliferate, speculating on the deeper meanings behind these occurrences and creating a vibrant community dialogue that extends the game's impact beyond the console. However, some challenges arise as these elements can sometimes feel tangential to the main storyline, potentially breaking immersion for some players seeking a strictly realistic experience. Additionally, academic and cultural perspectives might critique the portrayal of supernatural themes, arguing they gloss over the genuine history and folklore of the setting. Nevertheless, supernatural occurrences in Red Dead Redemption 2 intertwine with the game's central themes of loyalty, morality, and survival. They resonate deeply with its exploration of identity and existential dread, casting an otherworldly shadow that enhances the player's journey through the wild, unpredictable terrain of the West. Whether seen as a nod to folklore or a deepening of the narrative, these elements provoke thought, discussion, and an appreciation for the unknown, underpinning the allure and complexity that define Red Dead Redemption 2. Exploring the supernatural aspects within Red Dead Redemption 2 unravels a fascinating layer of mystery and intrigue embedded in a game renowned for its immersive storytelling. Supernatural elements refer to occurrences or entities that defy scientific explanation, adding an eerie, otherworldly dimension to the game's Wild West setting. In Red Dead Redemption 2, these elements are woven into the fabric of the narrative, enhancing the player experience by tapping into folklore and cultural myths. This contributes to the overarching theme of the untamed and unpredictable nature of the 19th-century American frontier. One significant example is the ghost of Agnes Dowd, a mournful spirit that haunts the swamps of Lemoyne. Her tragic tale not only adds depth to the game's lore, but also underscores themes of loss and regret, pervasive throughout the story. Encountering Agnes at night, players experience unsettling apparitions that challenge the boundaries of reality and fiction, inviting contemplation about the impact of unresolved grief. Another striking instance is the UFO sightings scattered throughout the game. These extraterrestrial encounters compel players to reflect on frontier isolation and existential curiosity. These unexplained phenomena serve as a metaphor for the unknown, and the fears and fascinations that arise from humanity's quest to understand its place in the universe. Critics and enthusiasts alike praise these supernatural inclusions for enhancing the atmospheric depth and narrative diversity of the game. They argue that such elements create an immersive experience, encouraging players to explore and interpret the world around them through multiple lenses. However, some players may view supernatural aspects as divergent from the realistic environment that Red Dead Redemption 2 otherwise meticulously crafts. They might argue that these elements can detract from the historical authenticity that defines much of the gameplay. This introduces an alternative perspective that values historical fidelity over mythic embellishments. The supernatural in Red Dead Redemption 2 is not an isolated phenomenon, but intricately connected to its broader themes of mystery, legacy, and the human condition. Encountering the unknown shapes the player's understanding of the environment, driving exploration and engagement with the richly crafted world. This intertwined relationship between the supernatural and the natural world in the game prompts reflection on how myths and legends influence cultural narratives and vice versa. Ultimately, these eerie occurrences heighten the sense of wonder and possibility, securing Red Dead Redemption 2's status as not just a game, but as a compelling narrative journey into the unexplained. In the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, ghostly encounters and haunted locations are more than mere elements of spookiness. They contribute to the rich tapestry of supernatural lore within the game. These eerie experiences provide players with deeper insight into the game's narrative, hinting at the mysteries and tragedies that linger just beneath the surface of its gritty Wild West setting. Ghostly encounters in the game often manifest as spectral apparitions or unexplained events in specific locations, reminding the player that the Wild West, while rugged and lawless, is equally mysterious and steeped in folklore. The significance of these supernatural aspects lies in their ability to immerse players in a world where the line between reality and the paranormal is delicately blurred. This deepens players' engagement and encourages exploration beyond the main storyline, enriching their understanding of the world Rockstar Games has crafted. One of the most intriguing examples is the ghost of Agnes Dowd, who can be spotted in Lemoyne's swamp area. Her tragic tale of love and loss offers a poignant glimpse into the personal histories that haunt these lands. Another example is the Night Folk, a group of eerie, hostile figures populating the swamps, raising the hair on the back of players' necks as they silently stalk their prey. These examples serve to reinforce the game's underlying theme of unexplained phenomena seamlessly woven into its historical context. Supporters of these supernatural encounters argue they add a layer of depth and complexity to an otherwise grounded game, suggesting that they reflect the real-life legends and myths of the American frontier, offering players an experience that merges history with imagination. However, critics may argue that these elements detract from the realism and historical authenticity that the game otherwise strives to achieve. Despite differing opinions, the inclusion of ghostly encounters and haunted locations connects to broader themes of isolation, loss, and survival, intrinsic to the main storyline. They challenge players to question the nature of reality within the game, influencing their interpretation of events and characters' motives. While haunting sightings may lead to skepticism and discussions about their place in the game, they ultimately enhance the narrative's depth. The supernatural elements evoke curiosity and a sense of wonder, nudging players to investigate the unknown, thereby enriching their overall gaming experience with haunting tales that linger long after the console is turned off. The concept of supernatural aspects and occurrences within the video game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fascinating and rich tapestry that enhances the narrative depth and player experience. In the game, The supernatural elements are woven seamlessly into the expansive and immersive open world, sparking intrigue and inviting players to explore beyond the boundaries of reality. These elements include ghost sightings, mythical creatures, and unexplained phenomena, all of which add a layer of mystery and allure that captivates players. They play a crucial role in enriching the game's storytelling by providing an additional dimension that challenges players' perceptions and interpretations of the game world. The significance of these supernatural aspects lies in their ability to engage players on a deeper level, encouraging them to delve into the game's lore and forge emotional connections with the narrative. By including elements that defy logical explanations, the game invites players to question the nature of reality and explore the boundary between the real and the unreal. This not only adds to the atmosphere of the game, but also stimulates discussion and theorization within the gaming community. For instance, one of the most discussed supernatural features is the ghost train that appears on the tracks in Lemoyne at night, seemingly without any crew or passengers. This eerie encounter prompts players to theorize about its origins, sparking debates about possible connections to other game events or historical references. Another example is the sighting of the ghost of Agnes Dowd in the Bluewater Marsh region, where her spirit is seen mourning and wandering, reinforcing themes of tragedy and loss. Opinions within the gaming community are divided but generally supportive of the inclusion of supernatural elements. Many players appreciate the added depth and narrative intrigue these aspects provide, while others see them as a nod to classic ghost stories and folklore, elevating the game's atmosphere. However, some critics argue that these elements can detract from the game's historical authenticity, suggesting that they might disrupt the immersion for players seeking a more realistic experience. The presence of supernatural occurrences influences many other aspects of Red Dead Redemption 2, from its storytelling to its character development. They provide backstory and richness to the world, often connecting to the characters' personal journeys or larger story arcs. Ultimately, these elements enhance the overall gaming experience by offering a more layered and thought-provoking adventure, inviting players to look beyond what's visible and explore the mysteries that lie within the vast wilderness of the game world.